Alright, let's see here. Looks like a battery and a keyboard finally came in. Apparently FedEx tells me they tried to deliver it 3 times. So, here we are. A battery and a keyboard for a Dell Inspiron. Alright, let's see here. We are replacing a keyboard. I have to tear this whole thing apart. You see how it's an inlaid keyboard? How fun. Okay. It is an Inspiron. What is this thing? A Dell Inspiron 157577. Okay, so I have to tear this whole machine apart because the keyboard is under the palm rest, and in this case, the palm rest is a separate part number from the keyboard. So here we go. Let's see here. It looks like one basic screw to get in the back. Yeah, these gaming rigs are actually easier machines to work on. Someone give me some sort of audio check. Test, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So hard. Biggest challenge with this going live is that I can't monitor myself. Okay, so there we are. We're under the hood. It looks like this particular machine takes an SSD, and he's got his mechanical drive for expanded storage. Here's our battery. If it was just the battery, that'd be an easy fix. But unfortunately, we have to tear this thing apart, as you see. Everything has to come out. Oh man. Is that a screw I gotta get? Yes, we got 2 big old wide screws right there. 4. There we go. Okay, so I don't think I've ever actually torn this machine totally apart. There's a Dell Inspiron. Alright, we're just going to take our time. What I offer is live, unedited tech repair. Okay, I guess we don't need to mess with our keyboard or our battery just yet. I have to spend some time taking this apart. Alrighty, so just pay attention to where you put your screws. Get a good gist of things. I have already turned this thing on to test that it is a working machine. It has a dead battery and several keys don't work. So, let me just make sure everything looks intact to make sure I don't do anything that didn't come in. Okay, cool. So everything looks good. You know what I think I'm going to do? Just take a big picture of a before and after. There, I took a picture just so I can get some routing information because I got a cable. Looks like this is your cable for your monitor. This is your wires for your Wi-Fi card over here. And then you got your CMOS battery, straightforward. Looks like I gotta do everything. I haven't turned a Dell all the way apart in a while, not like this. But as a mechanical often reference, sometimes the bigger the engine, the easier they are to tear into. So that is kind of the case with the computer. Okay, so let's just start with the SSD. You got an M2 caliber drive here. Just pay attention to where you put your screws. You know what thing I'm going to do first? Take the battery out. Please disconnect and remove a battery before accessing the rest of the parts. It actually says that. I've never actually seen that verbiage before. This is a very user-serviceable computer versus a lot of computers on the market. But again, these gaming rigs are a little more friendly to work with. I'm going to get me a plastic spudger so I don't risk gouging the motherboard. Oh, that came apart nice and easy. Alrighty. Now I'm going to continue removing battery screws. Please, someone say hi in the YouTube chat, if only to tell me my audio is good. Alright. Can't tell if those screws are for the battery. Okay. Oh, good. Okay, so I don't, those particular screws. So it looks like it's only 3 screws that hold it, 3 screws that hold this battery in. I'll move this my current camera doesn't do any zooming, so I'll show you. So before I actually lift it out of the laptop, there's your battery. Since I don't have a zoomable camera, I'm bringing it to you. So it's 3. So what kind of is deceptive are these 2 screws here. Right there, that's not a battery screw, and nor is the one by my pinky. It's gonna fall out. Alrighty, there we go. It was just those 3 screws. Interesting. Oh, okay, so don't frustrate yourself in putting this thing back together. It looks like this battery was also used for another model, because you got 2 little service forks right here, either for another model or it goes in a slot underneath the computer here for better stability. So that could, if you don't count the number of screws, that's where you can go wrong and get frustrated. But anyway, battery's out. Too bad that's not our only repair. I'd like to say it's half our repair, but now we have all sorts of other screws to deal with. Since we're basically rebuilding an engine. Okay, so there, you got other screws underneath the battery. So we're just going to take our time dissecting this whole machine. I'm going to have to, since no one's in the chat, I have to go live for a second and see how my audio is. Let's see here. Your channel. How do we lock? Okay, I got some sort of interference. Where's that interference? Oh, you know what? Let's try this. Go live for a second to see how my audio is. Where is that noise coming from? Let's see here. I don't know where that noise is coming from. Nope, don't know where that noise is coming from. Let's see. Where is that noise coming from? Let's see here. Nope, I'm not seeing. Alright, well, can you guys hear the, that clicking in the back? I don't know where that's coming from. Alright, well, unfortunately, I don't know where that noise is coming from, but I don't see anything odd. I wonder, let me go just check. Yeah, it's still... Probably got a bad ground somewhere. Can you guys hear the clicking in the back? I don't know where that's coming from. Yeah, I got some sort of grounding issue. Maybe a bad XLR cable at this point. I don't know where that noise is coming from, but... Oh, you know what? I don't see anything odd. Just check. Anyway, okay, well, back to work. Excuse me for the bad ground. It sounds like there's a bad cable somewhere, but here we go. Okay, let's take this SSD out. Let's see. Now let's take the hard drive out. Can you still hear me? see, is the audio there? Alright, well, yeah, that's annoying. It's not one thing, it's always another. Okay. Just be gentle with these connectors. There's a hard drive connector. These ribbon cables. I'm taking all those ribbon cables out. What in fact I'm going to do, just for routing purposes, is make sure, it's just a guide, to make sure I get the cables routed properly. Good. Okay, so there's our hard drive. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. It's interesting. The screws for the mechanical hard drive have a shaft that is not fully threaded. Let's see here. That's unusual. I'm trying to show you without dropping it. Let's see here. Let's keep my hands still enough. Here, let's try this. There you go. You see, those are your mechanical hard drive screws. It's not fully threaded because it's going through a rubber grommet to reduce vibration. That's kind of one of the features you get when you spend an extra $50 or $100 on a computer. The next step up in quality is where all your screws are grommeted. Obviously, there's no point in doing that in a part of the machine that's not motorized, like your mechanical drive. All right, let's see here. So we got 4 of those screws for this mechanical drive. And it's kind of stuck. Okay, I know with confidence there's no other screw to worry about. Let's get this plastic spudger. Ah, there. And now we've got the hard drive out. Okay, no additional screws underneath the hard drive. Okay, and then let's unplug our CMOS battery because it's plugged into the motherboard, but it's also glued, literally glued to the bottom of the palm. I guess you could call this the chassis. Let's see. Okay. Doesn't like that Phillips screw. Let's see here. Oh, it doesn't like that one either. Where's my other favorite Phillips head screw? I'm having trouble with the Wi-Fi screw. Let's try this one. Here's another Phillips head screw. This is why you can't get away with any one size fits all sort of screwdriver. Alright, let's see here. It's not strict. It's just not behaving properly. And which of my screwdrivers is going to be the rock star today? Man, it's not a strict screw. It just has a particular angle about it that it doesn't want to. Let's try this one. Ah, this feels good. Just be gentle. Try not to push too hard because obviously you don't want to crack anything. Ah, that felt good. There, Wi-Fi out. Good. Okay, so one of my biggest issues tearing into a laptop. Okay, it looks like we got a little plastic cage to keep those connectors from coming off. Those connectors piss me off. These little connectors here, Be very gentle with them. Oh man, there's some food in this machine. All right, let's see here if I can show you. These connectors, let me see here. These connectors right there, they just pop off. To put them back on, they pop back on, but you have to be very gentle, which means if they're damaged, you need both good hands and good eyes to make sure they go on properly. So they do just pop off. Note that you got a white and a black one. Main and auxiliary is how they're labeled. Sometimes they're not colored. On this particular Wi-Fi card, they are labeled black and white. So take a picture if they're not, so you don't get them backwards. I have actually experimented and put them backwards, and there wasn't really an obvious performance drop. But really, you don't want to experiment. You don't want to have to close down a machine that was hard to get into, only to find out that you got reliability issues because you got sloppy about which direction or which connector went on what. Okay, Wi-Fi card is out. Okay, so now what other cables do we have? It looks like we have, right next to it, a ribbon cable. How does that connector work? We got another connector. It just says motherboard. It doesn't tell me what it's doing. And it's literally glued to the chassis. So in order for me to pull vertically, because that's how this, got it. All right, there we go. Just be very gentle. If you got a cable that's literally glued in, undo the glue first and then yank, or pull gently, do not yank on this connector. I can't tell where it's going, so I don't know whether it powers. Alright, so we got the Wi-Fi, the CMOS battery. Let's see here. What else are we doing? A bunch of ribbon cables, right? A bunch of ribbon cables. Keyboard, LED, and power. Got it. Good. Dell chose to label what those do. Good. Touch palm rest. I think that's what that stands for. Keyboard. Alright, let's see. This keyboard, this screwdriver is doing wonders for me, so I'm going to stick with this one. None of my screwdrivers are stripped, and nor are these screws, but this particular model screwdriver seems to be the best. So this little cover here, I know I don't have the best of cameras right now. I got to get one that zooms. So I just, this connector here, make sure your monitor stays intact and doesn't fall off. It's, here we go. My goodness, look at all that food. Alright, so this cable here is for your monitor. Right there. As my budget improves and I make sure all my bills are paid, I'll buy more cameras. I'll get one that zooms. That'll be much easier camera to work with. Gosh, alright, cool. Okay, so, man, what a mess. Okay, so now I think all my cables are physically unplugged except this fan. Okay, I physically cannot unplug both fans yet. I can unplug this one. Again, use the plastic spudger to unplug things so that you don't damage the motherboard or harder other plastics in the machine. Let's see here. I'm going to be gentle about pulling this plug here. Ah, there we are. That is now unplugged. Man, this machine is sort of filthy. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my time undoing the rest of the screws. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do for organizational purposes. I'm going to put all the screws that are vaguely around the battery on top of the battery. Dell does a pretty good job at labeling which screws go where. An M2x3 is the one I'm working on right now. It's a fairly small screw, and it looks like it sandwiches the chassis with the palm rest. All right. All right, there we go. Yeah, this is a slightly bigger job than I expected. Okay, it looks like part of the bottom part of the computer broke off. Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, okay, so now these screws here are a bigger screw than what's under the battery. These are the 5x6 M2. M2 5x6s are all along this perimeter at the base of the battery. What I realize is that as I talk to myself, I can refer to the video, and if I get lost with the screws when I put this machine back together, I can watch myself get just as much value out of this video as you. You know what I think I could do for you guys? Let me see if this is a better value to you. Let me move the camera and see if this does wonders. Let's do this. Let's see if this helps. Oh, that might help you. Ah, there we are. That's a little bit better for you. It's a little. Is that actually? Let's see here. Is that? Let's try this. Let's see. Let's get this battery out of the way. There. How's that? Is that better? A little more detail. All right. Good. All right. Now we can continue with these 5x6s. Put them right here. What I think I'm going to do is label my little rubber mat so I don't have to be so diligent about physical laying out of screws. The screws themselves aren't labeled, but the touchpad is, or the chassis is. Another 5x6 right here. Yeah, not all the vendors, all the manufacturers label exactly what screws are going where. But there are the same screws across the board as far as industry goes. So now this one here is another 5x6. At the very least, just make sure all the screws are the same size when you bundle them together. Alright, let's see here. Another 5x6 right here by the SSD. Sort of a high performance machine for just an Inspiron. Okay, another 5x6 by the fan right here. Man, I got some cleaning to do. There is a ton of food in here. Another 5x6 here. Well, that's funny. They actually labeled the fan screws, but you can't remove the fan until this whole chassis comes apart. Interesting. Okay, these big old sandwich screws. Oh man, that's a filthy screw. It's all jammed up with gunk. Oh man, what screwdriver am I supposed to use for that? See all that gunk in there? Man. There we go. I had to push hard for that one. Okay, let's see here. I'm actually going to check on myself because I don't know what my audio is doing. Let's see. Okay, I've still got that annoying noise, but at least I'm audible. Let's see here. Okay, this screw here. What? Oh man, that's a problem. How am I supposed to get that screw loose? Let's try a big old screw. No, that's way too big. Okay, we got a problem. This screw here, either someone's been in there. Oh, man, what am I going to do? Let's see here. Excuse me while I move this thing a little closer to me to figure out how to deal with this screw. Okay, now I have several screwdrivers that are slightly different. Hopefully I got one that's just a... You know what I think I'm going to do? Is throw this away. I don't know if I have a spare screw. I do have a general screw kit that covers most of the general screws that you find under the hood of a computer. I don't know if I have this one. Man, that's a problem. Let me see if I have anything that can help with this. Nothing like that. Nope. These Phillips head screwdrivers are not working. Well, let's see. This has become a more difficult job in more ways than one. Let's see here. Well, that doesn't grab at all. Yeah, I'm just trying. Let's see here. Let's see here. Come on. We got problems. Let's see here. I gotta find just the right Phillips head screwdriver for this problem. Nope, that's not gonna work. Yeah, close. Let's see. Well, I can tell it's not technically, well, it's just full of junk. Okay, we'll revisit this. Let's see here. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can pry most of it apart, because I think I've got most of the base screws, except for that one. So again, I'm using a plastic spudger to pry it apart so I don't damage the harder plastics the machine is made of. machine's been used and abused. It's got all sorts of dings all over it. Okay. As I pry it apart, I'm going to triple check that I haven't missed any screws so I don't fight a screw that just needs to be undone. Man, I can hear the food. There's going to be something that crawls out from under this keyboard, I can tell. There's all sorts of gunk. Alright, so what screw? We still have to do one screw here. We got another 5x6 right here by the battery. Five by 6. I don't know if this screw right here that you can't see it here. This screw here where all the food is. I don't think that has to do, oh yeah, it looks like it is a palm rest screw. It's another 5x6. Man, there's a lot of food in here. Oh, lovely. Food blocking a screw. It is for the fan, so I don't need to do that yet. I still need to pull this all base plate or chassis away. Oh, we got another one over here. So this is another 5x6. Sorry, I'm dealing with this without being on camera. This one right here by my thumb. Move this camera up again. There we go. Okay, so I just did that screw right there. Then there's this one right here. Okay, I think more food blocking a screw I almost missed. Hopefully. You know, I don't think an easy out's going to work with that screw. This screw over here. Okay, I think I've done all the external lower screws. Of course, plastic spudger goes right here. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to move this up. I think I've done all the heavy lifting as far as screwdrivers go. There, now you can see me work. Getting into this machine. Now, even though the screws keep it all together, you still got a bunch of tiny little clips inside. And that's what I ultimately have to pry apart. Oh, I thought that was a crack in the palm rest. That's just a design right there. This does not want to play friendly. I'm missing, no screws are missing this time. I didn't forget any screws, I mean. Oh man, I'm having trouble getting that spudger under there. This machine has been dropped. Ah, there. I think there's some, okay. Oh my goodness, this machine is beating me up. Oh man, I can't get under there. I got a tool that's going to help me. That's just a little needle. That's just a poker. This little poker here, where are we? That's not a screwdriver, that's just a poker. I'm going to poke this through the tiny holes in the screws to help push this thing apart. Ah, there we are. Doesn't want to do it. Come on. Dude. No, that doesn't really want to help. Alright. Problem is I don't want to penetrate too far. Oh man. Okay, yeah. Dell brilliantly decided to glue part of the palm rest. That's not very nice. First time I've torn this machine all the way apart, and this is what I get. Let's see here. I'm trying. This Dell Inspiron is not the easiest to me. I think the fact that there's food damage has made this a little more difficult than normal. Oh, you know what? There. See, the advantage of me doing unedited content is that you get to see me struggle, and I mean, that's not really a joke. Don't expect these things to just fall apart. Let's see here. Okay, so we got the bulk of the palm rest apart. This is, just be gentle when you pry everything apart. You don't want to do more damage, obviously. Okay, so here, anytime you get kind of snagged, you want to triple check. You don't want to miss any screws. I've made that mistake. Okay, I think the spudger is going to be retired when this machine is done, because it is just, man, what a headache. Oh, well, I see why I was having trouble over here. It's lipped. There. I think I got the bulk of the clips now. Okay, this is why you want to make sure, I'm about to pull these apart. What you can do is, if you're not careful about doing these little ribbon cables for the keyboard and the palm rest, you can destroy the connectors or the cables. They can rip. So you want to make sure you pay attention to those before you get excited about pulling everything apart. So make sure you triple check. Here's one I actually forgot. The keyboard itself. Well, that's why I hesitated, because it was glued. Okay. Okay, so before I get too excited, I need to, this is why I hesitated with this one, because it's literally glued. Oh, man. Is this... Okay. Oh, man. Are you kidding me? Okay, I've done this repair before on these Dells. Someone at Dell decided to make my life miserable. Alright, the little connector actually came off. That's not fun. Alright, bye. Alright, let's see here. Alright, I'm live. I can't talk right now. Let's see here. Man. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to have to revisit this. I'll revisit that later. Alright, are you guys going to go for your walk?
Well, Hayden can't walk, so I have to leave her here to watch movies.
Alright, well, I'm not going to be able to pay attention to anyone right now.
You don't have to pay attention to her.
Alright.
Okay?
Alright.
Benjamin, you're gonna come with me.
Alright.
We'll do this when I get back.
See you, Chris.
Alright, see ya.
Wait a minute, let me set her up. Okay.
Alright, let's see here. Alright, let's see here. Let's see. I forgot one screw. Another 5x6. I wonder if that was my hesitant there. That might have been it. You can talk and come over here if you want. I just can't have a proper conversation with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm live on YouTube, that's all. What did I just do with, there it is. So I'm sharing this machine and everyone on YouTube is watching.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, so having trouble unclipping, triple checking to make sure I didn't miss any screws. Is that not a screw? No, that's just a piece of plastic, but it looks like a hole for a screw. Alright. Am I missing? I'm just triple checking to make sure I don't miss any screws as I try to pry this apart.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It's all sandwiched together. Let's see here. Alright, let's see here. Alright, let's see. Let's see. What am I missing here?
That's on that.
Okay, I can't have that noise here.
Okay, all right,
Let's see here.
okay, then you gonna watch me?
Yep.
Kenny's gonna watch her movie. We'll
All
be
right.
back. We'll be right back.
Alright.
It's gonna be a short one. Okay, now I have my routine.
Okay, I see how that works. Okay. That's how that works. Okay, this back piece comes off.
Stop, stop,
Right, yeah, this screw here. Let's see. Now this one screw, it all comes down to this one screw. No, that just does not want to let go. Jeez. I don't want to press too hard, that's the problem. Okay, I'm gonna have to manhandle this thing off camera. Right. Yes, so that whole back piece comes off. I'm going to put a little bit of effort into the screw that I don't want to do on camera because it puts me in a weird physical position. Oh man. Oh, you know what? I'll use my little needle to scrape out some of the gunk. Okay, yeah, here's what I'm doing here. I'm using my little needle tool. You can't quite see how sharp that is. To scrape out the boogers from this screw here. Yeah, so this is obviously a teenager's computer and he eats over this thing. So I keep finding crumbs of food in places that don't make my job any easier. And this is one of those screws. It's just in my way. There we go. We got gold. Ta-da! So, I was just about to give up on that screw. That wafer screw I call it, or sandwich screw. And now, this construction is not typical. This piece here comes off the back. That's not how most of these machines come. Most machines don't have that part. Hayden, you alright? You good? My niece is here. She's not on camera. She's being quiet. Let's see here. Okay, so it looks like that's gonna come off now. Good. Good. Okay, there we go. There's that annoying piece. We got it. Wow, there are crumbs everywhere. Okay, so just pay attention before you get excited about those cables. This might be a nice time to take a picture. Pull your smartphone out, take a picture of where those cables are. This particular setup is not terribly sophisticated, but you still want to pay attention to where those cables are routed. I gotta do some cleaning up on this machine. It's literally filthy inside. Okay, I'm gonna take my own advice and take a picture of this cable routing. Good. And be gentle. These cables, these particular cables, are kind of glued in. Okay, good. So now, in removing these cables, I found 2 more screws. Actually, this here was hiding 2 more screws. Let me show you on camera. Middle finger, end of middle finger. 2 more 5x6s. They were hidden underneath that big piece of gray plastic. Right there where my index finger is, and right here. Those will need to come out additional to all the other machines. Screws before I take the bottom piece off. I did not expect this to be quite this intrusive. Alright, so another 5x6 goes right there. Another 5x6 right here. And now, oh, we got 2 more. I forgot to mention. Actually, I just now noticed them. Right at the edge of each corner. Another 5x6, right at the edge of my thumb. And the opposite end, right there on the other side. Alright. Now that that wafer screw is taken care of, now we can start taking Oh, I just did each of the corner screws. Now I can start to be, oh, wow. There we go, it all falls apart now. Nice. So there's our motherboard and chassis. There's the underside. So now, I was afraid I was gonna have to take even more out. It looks like I don't have to take, you know what? I'm gonna spend a little bit of time blowing the food out of here. This is literally one of the filthier computers I've messed with. You can almost make a sandwich out of here. So that's the underside. There's the bottom side, or the inside and the top side. They're good, okay, cool. So I don't actually have to remove the fans. I didn't actually have to unplug the fan. All right. Good, so now I'm just gonna put this in a safe place. Okay, so this here is our keyboard. You see all this metal? That's the base plate for the keyboard. That's what makes me, okay, it looks like some of the bracketing came apart. Got it. So I'm probably gonna have one screw that might not necessarily screw back because some of the plastic came apart in my hands. Okay, so now this is very unique construction. This is not normal construction. May as well show you. The hinges for this monitor are 2/3 of the way in of the machine. Normally, they're by the edge on the outside of the machine. So if you've never taken a machine apart, this is not normal. So if you have this Inspiron, I wouldn't have even guessed that's where the hinges are. All right, because there's such that big piece of plastic, you can't tell where the hinges are. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my time. Pull on this, oh, it looks like what I have to do, can I get to, okay, yeah, I can do that. Good. So now the keyboard, this was kind of a frustrating repair. Okay, so again, what I'm noticing, you got a screw, you got a cable that's literally glued right here. And removing this, you don't want to damage anything. So we're going to, it looks like that's a daughter board for the power switch. We're just going to unplug it so that when we pull this base plate out for the keyboard, we'll still be able to plug it back in without damaging anything. But it looks like this cable here is covering up a couple screws. So we're going to be, there we are. Oh man, there's like 3 or 4 screws that are covered up by this cable here. Those are the things you want to pay attention to when taking a machine apart. Jeez, all right. Okay, so now I got to figure out these particular screws in this keyboard are very small. I got to figure out which of my Phillips head screwdrivers are going to save the day this time. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is take this monitor off by these silver screws. They're the only silver screws I've found in the machine. They're big and hefty. Good, so now we can move these hinges out of our way, which are a necessary removal. Good. I wonder if the screen is now good. Okay, so there. If you needed to replace your screen, there you go. There you go. So, or the palm rest. Good, this video is offering value for LCD removal, keyboard removal, and palm rest removal for the Inspiron. I have to look up the 4-digit number for the exact model, but there's your palm rest with the keyboard. Now, I did a recent repair on another Dell, and what did I do with that palm rest? Let's see here. What did I do? Oh, you know what? There it is. So, this is another Dell that I did another repair for. I did this palm rest. This is not uniform. So basically Dell changes their nomenclature. This particular part, both the keyboard and the palm rest, this was for an Inspiron 17 5000 series. I did this last week. This is unique. So this particular palm rest and this particular keyboard are all one part number. So when calling someone like Parts People, you might need their technical assistant. Their phone reps are pretty good about telling you what's going on. But obviously this particular Dell, this Inspiron, this other Inspiron, this bigger gaming setup, the keyboard is a separate part number. So yeah, this is one of my pet peeves. Sometimes these keyboards, like I did at HP a few weeks ago, and this keyboard was built like this, but the keyboard was its own part number. That's the sort of thing that pisses everyone off. And if you don't do this all the time, you don't recognize those sorts of methods. All right, let's see here. Okay, so now I got let me put the LCD out of the way. Good. Now all other loose parts are out of my way. Okay, so we are replacing the keyboard. And now I gotta figure out which of these screwdrivers of mine wants to work with one of these keyboard screws. Oh, this one works good. These screws are very small, and they are a different size than any other screw in the machine. So just count how many you remove, and you're good. Yeah, so don't get yourself too frustrated, because you do want to know exactly how your machine is put together. Like I just mentioned, the part number might be separate, or it might not. It's the same thing with the palm rest. This particular palm rest looks like it's well, it's fairly easy to remove, but it's not necessarily its own part number. It could be a part of the palm rest, which is something to consider. So just keep an eye on that. Got little pieces of clip. There we go. All right. Pay attention to where you put all your screws. I'm going to have a lot of screws to deal with here. So this bottom part of the screw, this piece of metal here, it adds rigidity to the whole machine. And it's also back up against the keyboard. It kind of separates the keyboard from the motherboard. Man, yeah, I did not expect this much intrusion. This is a bigger job than I expected. I'm billing for an hour and a half, by the way. So this is going to take me a little longer than that. I'm not actually going to make the customer pay for that additional time. But I kind of have to come up with fixed rates for certain repairs. Like even if it was just that battery, I'd still have to charge a whole half hour, even though it doesn't take a whole half hour. And it just kind of spreads its, I don't know what the verbiage is I'm looking for, but you kind of have to guess how much time it's going to take, because you don't necessarily know how much time it's going to take. If it takes a little bit more, then you just eat it, and if it takes less, then it's great, but you still have to earn a living, so you have to have your minimums, even if it's a 5-minute fix. Like that battery would have been 5 or 10 minutes of effort. It doesn't mean I'm only going to charge them $5 or $10. I would have had basically my half-hour minimum is my minimum here at the shop. I have an hour minimum for doing house calls. This machine has kicked my butt. My goodness. Okay, yeah, I hate having to unglue these ribbon cables, because I'm always worried I'm going to tear one, because it's a ribbon. How are you, Hayden? You good? Good walk?
He moved.
Good. Well, he already did too, but yeah, sweet.
Did it again. Single choice. Can we talk now?
Yeah, we can talk. I mean, yeah, I just can't. I'm being watched as I tear this machine apart.
Does he know where his water is?
Is it behind me?
Yeah.
Is there water in there? He was drinking earlier.
Let's see. How long are we on film?
Good. All right.
No, there's no water. Could you give me a bottle of water underneath the restroom? This one.
Jason.
I will. Bader? You booked earlier this morning?
Yep.
Oh, why is this? Oh my God. Okay. So he knows where his bowl is, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see.
What you watching? Let me see.
All right. How many screws do I have left? Let's see. Oh, there we are. My spudger.
Susan, do you need water? Yes or no?
Let's see here. Oh, okay, cool. So, looks like I don't have to remove it all the way. Doesn't like that screwdriver. All right, I think I've got all the screws. Yes, we do. Again, you can see why it was important to unplug this cable. There we go. Here's our screwdriver. Oh, man, what a messy repair. This computer had all sorts of food in it. All right, so we got our ribbon cable, our backlight cable for the keyboard. Okay, so there's your keyboard and the base plate to keep it rigid. Okay, what did I just do? Here's our replacement keyboard. Part number 3R0JR. There's your part. Backlit keyboard for the Inspiron 157577. And the camera just doesn't want to read that. Too much white. The sticker's white. There we are. Anyway. Let's see here. All right, replacement keyboard. That's a long cable. Okay, so now I have to get the keyboard stuck to the base plate. Oh man. Oh man, there's so much. keyboard is stuck to the base plate. That's forward. All right. This keyboard is literally glued to this
On
base
this
plate.
part.
Let's see. Oh, you get this sticker here. There. That's nasty. This keyboard's done. Sorry, Tater. Let's see here.
Put it in the trash.
Let's see here.
Trash it? And put it in the trash?
Yeah, sure.
Put it in the trash right there. No, put it in the trash.
Let me see that one for one more time. This keyboard seems to have an extra. Well, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, here. Okay, so. Oh, let me see it one more time. All right. You know, I'm going to hold on to it for a minute because this cable needs to be bent a particular way. There we are. So I need to pay attention to how that's folded. That's what these lines are. So it looks like this particular cable is a different, look at that. The Dell Inspiron 15, look at that. That cable right there. That line there tells you exactly where to fold the cable. So this particular keyboard is also probably for, it looks like, the Gamora 15, which is right there, and then the Gamora 17. So you can tell you, this particular keyboard came with 3 different machines. Right there, you can label. You can see where it's labeled. That label tells you where to fold this cable. So I can tell you right now, this cable replacement has not been folded yet. So it's waiting for one of those 3 computers. And then, of course, just be careful. You get this other cable for the backlit, which is right there. Right there. Okay. Let me see on the other one. Where's the palm rest? Got it. Okay, so this particular, the old, I'm going to make sure I don't. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep the other keyboard right here so I can see how all the cables are run. So it looks like the backlit cable goes underneath this cable here. The main ribbon cable for all the keys is literally glued to the bottom of the keyboard. Does not make things easier. I'm okay with ungluing it to see how things are put together because obviously it's the old keyboard. So if I damage the cable, it doesn't matter. I got it. I needed to see the routing because the backlit keyboard, oh, again, you can tell the backlit cable also is labeled for those 3 different machines. Okay, so now I can see how everything is sort of labeled.
Stop.
There, all right.
Anything in his eyeballs?
All right. Good. Okay, now I needed to see how that was all going. All right. All right, let's see here. How did this go? Okay, that's what I noticed. let's see here. There we go. Okay, so that's how that goes. Alright, let's see. Let's see here. Keyboard. Okay, that's why it's confusing. It's shipped with the backlight keyboard. Backlight is taped. Okay, good. So, this is not the easiest of affairs. Good. Okay, so now you can see I've taken the keyboard, the old one, and paid attention to how okay. Yes, just pay attention to these wires because they are labeled for which of the three computers this keyboard is designed for. Of course, now I gotta get the shipping tape out of my way so I can read the label. Alright. Oh, I see. Okay. Come on. This is frustrating. Let's see here. Ah, that's why. This has to get bent right here. Which is labeled D15. Right about there. Oh, I got that bent right on the label. Okay, don't press too hard because you don't want to damage the cable. There's that. Good. Okay, so now this keyboard cable gets bent. Dell 15 is what it says. Okay, just be gentle and pushing. Alright, Dell, again, Dell 15. Oh, they don't have a bend. Oh, that's interesting. They didn't remove all the 3M tape from the original installation.
Sit.
Alright, so that's how that works. Okay, cool. So this bend, this last bend, practice here. Let's see here. Let's see, how did this go? All right, so I'm going to refer to my pictures that I took.
No, I'm not.
All right, are you guys going to stick around a little bit?
Why? What do you
Well,
want?
nothing. It's just a little distracting.
No, we're leaving.
All right.
Brittany's school bus broke down.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going. We'll come back and visit later.
All right.
Not today, maybe
That's
tomorrow.
fine.
No.
All right. Let's see here.
Give me my phone. Put it back in my house.
All right. Let's see.
I just want to show Christopher it's not a mess anymore.
Okay.
Got him
Okay. Yeah. So these cables definitely go underneath. I hate when that happens. All right. Let's see. Now what I'm looking for is cable routing. So it looks like all these cables. Cable. Let's see here. Okay, I don't like to tape everything down until I know everything's working, and unfortunately Dell expects you to tape things down. It does not do well. Okay, for reliability. Alright, so I want to be able to plug everything in. Well, that's right. I'm going to have to got it. Okay, I see how that works. So this backlight folds over one more time. So the problem is I got glue. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, I have to fold the backlight in over the keyboard cable. Good. Okay, I think we're good. I think I got the folds that I want. And that I do have to install this base plate on top of most of these cables. Good. All right. Okay, good. So now I'm going to pry that there, and then there. Good. So now I've got, I see how that works. I think we're good. Okay, I got the base plate. There. I'm going to look at the original setup. Let's see here. Let's see. I just want to make sure I don't pin any cables underneath that I might end up having to pry out later. Keyboard backlights. Got it. Okay, good. Okay, so now one of the things I noticed I have to do is repair what I broke. And the connector for the keyboard, because someone at Dell was brilliant and decided to take this little piece of plastic to the keyboard connector. The only way okay, so I know I've made this mistake in the past before. Technically, it's because of poor engineering at Dell. Someone thought it was smart enough to put a piece of tape on top of this. So now I have to go in here, recognize that, so okay, none of the pins are broken, but someone at Dell brilliantly decided to take this white connector that is for the keyboard. It is repairable. I have done this. Actually, I used to do warranty repair for Dell, and I made this mistake a few times. Get excited, and of course, brilliant engineers at Dell will take things down that shouldn't be. Does not make the job any easier. I'm going to have to do this off camera because I have to hold it at a weird angle. Now I see how that might go. Let's see. Yeah, if I can't get this connector back on, it means a new motherboard. And that's Dell's fault. You should not tape stuff down. It don't need to be taped. see which direction. It's not obvious. Oh, come on. As long as it's not broken in half, you can usually shove this back in. Let's see here. If my head gets in the way, I'm sorry. This is a weird. And you know what? I have a Dell keyboard. Okay, the holes are going to be on that side. My micro hands are not so small here. I know I've had this issue before. All right, let's see. Okay, those are holes. Good. Okay. Not slots, they're holes. Let's see here. How frustrating. I have to figure out. I know I've done this before. Let's see here. But one thing slowing me down is this keyboard. Ah, okay, yeah. You need munchkin hands to get this done.
You know, you've inspired me.
Yeah?
When you were talking about content on your website.
Yeah.
because you know the program Audacity.
We're live, by the way.
Oh, hi everyone. You know that program Audacity?
Yeah.
I've been getting you know, I'm tone deaf, and so I have a lot of audiobooks.
Yeah.
And when I listen to them, they talk way too fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, some of my favorite chapters or books or
Yeah.
readings,
Yeah.
I've loaded them in Audacity, make a copy of them, put them side by side,
Yeah.
and I change the speed, the pitch, the tempo,
Mm-hmm.
and because I saw a video on YouTube, how to make your voice sound like a superhero's voice or a radio announcer's voice.
Right.
And so now I'm going to read stuff and you know, because content's an actual product, you know.
Right.
When you produce something, because I have chapters of this AA stuff that I really like,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna make my own content
Yeah.
because I make links of the other stuff I do my work on, and people go, hey, I heard that on someone else's phone. Can you send and do it on G Drive?
Right.
And they, you know, yay, type stuff.
The stupid keyboard connector broke off in my hand, and now if I can't get the connector back on, I gotta buy another motherboard. Because some bonehead at Dell decided to tape it down.
Wow, you're like really good at those too.
Well, it
Which
doesn't-
one is it?
It's an old Inspiron. This piece of plastic popped off. I remember doing warranty repair for them, and I've actually been able to put this back in, and it's simply because some ignorant fool at Dell under-engineered the connector.
They do. Sometimes you think they do that stuff on purpose.
Well, look, even the plastic on these other cables is like doubled up. They got cheap with the keyboard. I don't know why, and now if I just had small enough hands, none of these pins are damaged. And all I need to do is sandwich down that keyboard. This was a bitch of a computer to get into.
Look how extra thin it is.
Yeah, it's like half as thick as the rest of the connectors, which is boggling my mind.
You'll get it, dude.
It's just, the people at everything's mostly designed for replacement, not repair.
Yeah. You know the supply chain that's all messed up because of Corona?
Yeah.
The replenishing of the supply chain that's in front of is I'll replace the water heater, not repair it.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, if you want to replace it, sure, we got water heaters right here. Oh, but the $85 part, yeah, those are on back order. Sorry.
Okay. Don't bug me right now, because I might just have it.
Okay. I'm getting ready to go to Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, again.
You stay at that house you work at, right?
I stay at a bunch of different houses I work at. Yeah.
Alright, so, oh.
Enjoy yourself.
Uh-huh. You know what? Oh, fuck. Alright. There you go. Dig it out of there. Now where to go? Okay. There. This machine. It's almost like right to repair. Sorry, my big fat head's in the way, everyone. Oh, so close. What I need is something flat. Problem is, you know what I think I need? You know what this might be? Let's try this. Yeah, that's what I think I need to do. I need to get this flat against this. Almost. I just need. There we go. Something to push against. Oh, okay. Fuck. All right, well, there we go. Gonna need a new, lovely Dell. Need a new motherboard. Oh well. So that's it for this repair. There's no point in putting this thing back together. There we are. Show up in the YouTube chat, say hi. That's what happens when you get distracted. And Dell decides to tape down a cable to the motherboard. Stay tuned for part 2. Looks like I'm going to end up having to buy another motherboard for this Inspiron.